Grand Rising. Well, not literally. I meditated a little bit on my dreams and going to pull up this Bible verse here soon for my more meditation and then get to work. I've got a 16 ounce, two 16 ounce, and a 32 ounce shots to make today and get them out. So I was putting some of the horsey stuff in order, and I went back to the very first video that's posted in my member Patreon, and there are some very important words by Dr. Sherry Timpenny that explains what's really going on in our bodies when it comes to autoimmune, mainly when it comes to autoimmune, which really ultimately leads to the C word. It's when things get super out of hand that we get to the C, when it starts building something up, which is still your body's way of trying to heal yourself, which the chemotherapy completely messes up. And it's just another example of what can be done when people are quote unquote healed from something, but it's actually putting more of these things all throughout your body and can easily come back later to bite. So one thing I like to say is there's counterfeit healing and there's true healing. Synthetics can never offer true healing. It's all counterfeit healing. It's like that one time I got attacked after someone did Reiki on me. I know a lot of my followers like Reiki, right? I felt better for one day, and then 3 days later I got severely attacked because something came through that highway, and I have a big target on my back in the spiritual. Now, when I go in my DNA hoax series, it really goes into the intricacies of how this stuff really is all spiritual. It's all frequency. It's all spiritual. We're about to hear some words from Dr. Sherry really quick. The DNA hoax part 4, whenever I can get to it, I have a responsibility to my orders first, my products, my customers, for my store first. But when we get into that, plus more on Trump and the frontline doctors, and that's all I can say. Okay, there's the American frontline doctors, the American ones. Was it an American thing? Was the sixth? You know what? That's all I'm going to say. And there's just so much more. Ormus, the list goes on. But one of the ones I'm really excited about that's coming sooner is the DNA hoax part 4. But part of that is going to go to the healing warrior tier because part of that's really going to go further into healing for this specific thing. So the very first video in my collection is called Intra Body Nano Network. And if you have just subscribed to my collection, you need to start with video 1. Now you can skip the one about Adam and Jesus. You can skip those. Those are a little bit separate. But besides those, you need to start the very bottom video called Intra Body Nano Network. Now, a lot of this is a journey, and I expect people to watch in order because I'm going to be referring to things from videos below the video you're watching many times because this stuff is so complex. It is so incredibly complex that I can't cover every single thing in every single video. And there will be evidence in one video and I'll say, it's the same thing from this video, right? It is a must that you watch in order. And I know it's hours and hours and hours worth of stuff. I recommend grabbing a pen and getting in a quiet place, even grabbing a friend or grabbing the whole family. But it's not something to do with a bunch of noise around. I'm teaching you guys the language, and it's going to be consistent throughout the series. So it can really get drilled in. If you weren't listening to one, it may not stick from the next one. A lot of these words and phrases are things you've never heard before, but if you really, really pay attention, you'll continue to hear them throughout the series as I go into different things from the documentation. Now, I can't seem to get this video to play on my tablet, and I'm trying to be able to squeeze out this video today, so I don't have time to pull it up. I don't have time to make a separate video and then screen record the whole thing. I can't put a video on here without it being one video. I'm trying to keep this in one video so I can go ahead and upload it. But let me go ahead and play a little bit of what she plays here, what she says here. Now, what she says in the video in the Intra Body Nano Network, which is in the $5 member tier, and it's from an old video I put together a while ago, and it also shows a smart fiber coming out of my scab at the end. She mentions foreign proteins, okay? This will make more sense from the DNA hoax series. But she mentions foreign proteins and toll-like receptors. She says the receptors are the God part of us. This all goes back to the spiritual. Okay, there's a really interesting part also about the Shroud of Turin that goes like what is shown in the DNA hoax series. It is a must. It's a must series, and it's one of the smaller series in the network Patreon. But what these things do is they mess up the wiring. Okay, the receptors are the communication part of your body. What these things are doing is they're throwing off the communication of your body. And it's not, she's talking about the AVs, but she's actually controlled opposition, and it's shown in my Zeo exposed and shock down. She is, what I'm finding out is literally you can trust nobody from the system. Either they're completely ignorant and they're leading the people to the slaughter, or they are not ignorant at all, like this one right here. She's very not ignorant. That's why she was in my first video, and this is from years ago. She's not ignorant at all to these things. She's also selling these things. She's also promoting these things and has her own product line with these things in there. You know, when I exposed, I think it was NNN in my Instagram, it's funny because there's a foreign protein in there too, and that's just a synthetic supplement. To not be deceived. They put different names on these things for a reason. They're not that far apart. And I just realized I didn't have my microphone again. Let me just get straight to it because this is taking forever. She says it's all about the proteins. Now, proteins are the building blocks of what? Cells. So it's actually all about the technology. So in this little picture, thumbnail, it says, it mentions Pfizer and new technology in the new jab. New technology in the new jab. What I talk about here is all of the technology in the synthetic supplements and drugs. In America's favorite detoxes. They're getting swindled. They're getting swindled by America's sweetheart doctors as well. Sherry Tenpenny was my hero, but now I know better.
Genetically modified and made and inserted into an adenovirus for the J&J shot. When you get this spike protein antibody in your system, it will permanently and irreversibly change your immune system. And